What's going on, guys? Rock Lee AC here, bringing you guys a Naruto CCG deck profile 5 years later after the game discontinued. A couple years since I've uploaded one. I'm excited to bring you guys my first re-upload of a deck that I ran a couple years back. Someone actually requested this on my last, or one of my Facebook, or not my Facebook, one of my YouTube videos, telling me to bring back my Earth hand control deck. This was a deck that I ran until in 2013, where our locals hosted a Naruto Midwest cash tournament. This was during a crazy snowfall where we had several inches of snow. It was pretty much like a snowstorm later that day, accumulating like a foot of snow and stuff. But a couple people out of Team Ohio came out to drive 5 hours. Shout outs to Tony Denning and crew. I managed to squeak in second place with this deck. Lost to Fire Lightning Rush, I believe. At that time, we were running sets 19 through 28. It was kind of a expanded block format. But I think with this deck right now, with the TAOP list, it's a lot more refined, and obviously there's a lot more tools in this hand discard deck. Excuse me. I know people are tired of like discard decks or hand discard decks. I mean, that's kind of, in my opinion, what I see like in the meta. It really disrupts a lot of tempos. But this is my invention of the deck that I ran a couple years ago, that I thought was very solid, and it's requested by generated memes or something like that. So shout out to him. Here's your request and deck profile. So let's get started. So this deck is primarily Earth, with a little bit of wind here and there, and discard theme. Let's go. So first card is Amy. A lot of people know her. She's a client when you have two or more female ninjas or clients in your field. Look at your opponent's hand. You're able to pretty much toss out a mission or jutsu card, enter the discard pile. Fits very well the theme. A lot of your early game ninjas are female. If you're able to hit the curve, females definitely rule the early game drop in this game. So Amy, very good. It was hard not to run it. 0 drops, 3 Choji. I like this Choji a lot because it kind of counters rush in a way. Puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. If they want a Sasuke solo, they know Choji's going to get some coins on him and be paired up with another ninja, just to be stronger. So kind of makes your opponent think twice about attacking. But Choji just gets really strong. He has Revitalize, so if you're going to go against Mill, he has that auto built-in effect to go back to the bottom. Very good card. Next to Sheikah Outwit. Again, combats rush. Somebody has like NVS or something, or just straight up they want to beat face early. Sheikah Outwit, he's just a solid drop. Target for Sheikah's decision, and just overall solid card. Next, 2/10/10 Endless Arsenal. Probably one of my favorite cards in Earth. She does a lot. She has mental power. She has growth. She has a weapon for the early game Fang's Rush. And at the start of the turn, you could discard a card. In that case, draw a card. So she helps filter out stuff. If you didn't discard an Earth card, you have to mill 3, but that's fine. You do run a lot of Earth cards anyways. But yeah, this make sure that you kind of hit your curve. Again, it's just there for filtering, and solid card to start off with. Another card, no stranger to the meta, Hotaru, Growth Coin, or Jaw. And then 1 Hanari. My 0 drops were full. I think around 10 0 drops. I think that's kind of the ideal that I like to run. Except if I'm running like tech or stuff. But yeah, Hanari, female, gets to look at your opponent's hand and draw on charge if you're able to. 1 drops. 2 Hinabi from set 20, I believe. She has tracking, which is nice. Your opponent's track ninjas can only be sent out to head as a battle to attack as a head ninja. So this really messes with certain ninjas' effects if they want to attack as a head ninja. But also your opponent's hand size reduced down to 1. So if you already start off with this, they're already going to only keep 5 cards in their hand while you're discarding, while you're controlling their hand. It's a good, solid backup card. And it also has growth. 1 Tamari, 1 Scythe. I think she's a staple, I believe, in pretty much a majority of decks. Anytime you're able to just look at your opponent's hand and discard a card is just valuable. Even if you don't have a Jitsu in their hand, even if they don't have one, just card knowledge. You're constantly looking at your opponent's hand, so you're able to point out and different attacks and stuff. So Karen, she helps keep your ninjas healthy, keep your non-valid text pretty much valid, and she just helps counter rushes and stuff. So you're always going to be able to trigger her card because you're always discarding cards from your opponent's hand. So you'll be able to heal ninjas. 2 drops. 2 Eno Playful. Yes, I main board her. She's so good, in my opinion. 2 mental power, growth. Each player cannot put in play more than 1 ninja per turn. So if they're trying to rush, if they have stuff like Inkfish, multiple early game drop ninjas like Mill, if they want to squat into like Kiba Akamaru, or if they're trying to like do like platoons and stuff, or Kakashi later on turn 4 drop, she pretty much prevents that. And then also the effect text of your opponent's head ninjas are negated. Incredible. Pair this up with a tracking ninja Hanabe to force your opponent to attack a certain way so that their texts are negated, which is great. But yeah, she has 3 support, great back ninja, and mind for stuff like mind transfer. But yeah, very good card. I like her. Next, Shino, Calculated Decision. This is more so a tech card, and one of my favorite tech cards. If you're having trouble like with the discard team or just need to have more counters or answers to stuff, Shino is a solid card. When it's put in play, you could look at your player's hand. Look at a player's hand. In that case, you could choose a card from a player's hand or move it to the bottom of their deck and have that player draw a card. This really helps counter stuff like Interruption, especially on the 2-drop if you want to make sure your Sheikah's Decision lands, or you're trading in the Moonlight lands, or any type of mission draw. Drop Shino, make sure to see that they don't have a counter in the hand. If you're going to go against Fire, it's great against, like I said, Interruption. Or just against any other deck that doesn't hit their curve. You're basically disrupting your opponent's hands, whether that be Jitsus, missions, Ninja Curve, all that stuff. Shino's helped me out in tons of games in the past. It's been one of my MVP cards, and I think it's a solid card if people are thinking about tech, tech cards and protection. So Shino is great. Revitalized too, so just in case somebody wants to mill you out. Soigetsu, another sideboard card that I mained. Usually you see Soigetsu in the side, but I still think it's very prevalent in this meta. Target ninja effect text is negated during this turn. There's a lot of text effects in the game that just activate and just are really powerful. Sakura, Concentrated Punch, KNS, just Obito, just a lot of cards that have text effects that could kind of counter your play style. So Getsu, very powerful in that case. Solid stats, 4/2. It also combos well with another card, which I'll show you in a bit, which helps fit the team. So Getsu's just not there just for no reason. 3 drops. Toei Mom, you got to run it at 2. You got to run it at whatever rogue list number it's at. It just filters, and it's just way too good. Next, 2 Hinata from Tales of the Gallant Sage. I like her a lot. She's a very, I think, underrated Hinata, but I guess it really depends on the theme of your deck. This obviously fits the theme of my deck. If you read the bottom valid effect, your opponent's maximum hand size is reduced down by 1. So if you have her and Hanabi out, they're going to be reduced down to 4 cards, which helps you put yourself over the card advantage limit, hopefully. But yeah, she has growth, and also during the mission phase, so either phase, you can select one of your opponent's ninjas. In that case, negate the effect text unless your opponent discards 1 card. So this deck is all about control, hand control, and as you can see already, Sogetsu, Hinata, you got text effects control too as well, and that again stops a lot of your opponent's ninjas. Anytime that you can negate a text effect, that's very powerful, and it just really hits a lot of cards, whether defensive or offensive. And then they can negate that effect by discarding 2 cards, so they're already going to be pressured into having a vanilla card or losing 2 cards out of their hand for the effect. So very powerful card, great support, good head ninja, and it's just overall a good card. Also user Byakugan. So yeah. And then I ran 1 Naruto Reliance, helps get your wind missions, and then also my other Leaf Ninjas get plus 1 support. So solid card. Fits the theme of the deck in terms of symbols and tutors and stuff, and it's just good overall. 4 drops. 1 Neji, Genius of the Hyuga Clan. This card a lot of people forget, I think, too. It's one of the only 4 drops with a hand cost, but that's because it's a super powerful effect. So basically, during the EOJ, you could injure 1 opposing ninja unless your opponent discards a card. That's super powerful, being able to be aggressive, injuring a ninja so that you could kind of win during the showdown if they don't have jutsus or whatever, but very powerful attack, and also your opponent's maximum hand size is reduced down to 1. So if you have all 3 of those, again, limit the hand. It's very effective for decks that like to draw a lot, like Fire, like Warhawks and everything. But yeah, it really limits your opponent from comboing cards. Even good against combo decks too, against like OTKs, like random OTKs that generate multiple actions or need like multiple cards to go off. But yeah, Neji, good solid card. Human Path. Not too many people run him. I like him a lot. He has 3 endurance. He has mind attributes, so you could also mind transfer and keep that ninja. And also his effect. During the mission phase, while your turn marker is even, you could randomly remove 2 cards in a player's hand from the game. In that case, at the end of turn, return those cards. Very powerful effect. I mean, it'd be amazing if somehow that effect could be permanent, and that'd be freaking broken. Oh, but wait, there's more. If you guys didn't know, old school OG combo, Soigetsu and Human Path. Let's go. Basically, if you guys don't know this combo, this has been used in the past. I've used it before once. A little bit more difficult to go off because of consistency, but basically, you know what Soigetsu does during your mission phase. Pay 1, target ninja's effect text is negated for the turn. Doesn't mean only your opponent's, it could be your own. So you're on turn 4 with Human Path, you play Human Path's effect, it's even, you randomly discard 2 cards, you play Soigetsu, negate Human Path's effect, and it's pretty much, those cards are removed from game. Easy as that. They don't get them back because Human Path's effect text is negated. So pretty much it combos out well with your theme. Freaking broken if you're able to hit this curve. So it gets to in Human Path. Get 2 cards out of their hand. They're removed from play. And it's just freaking broken. So use this on your even turns on turn 4, turn 6. Just really lock your opponent out with this combo. So there's definitely a point for Soigetsu. If anything, he'll combo with Human Path. And there's also a point for Human Path because he's going to get rid of 2 cards from your opponent's hand for at least a turn. And he has mind attributes, so again, he helps with the theme of capturing ninjas with mind transfer. And he has ambush. I mean, it's a good solid card. So these 2 are one of my tech cards that I played in the past, and it's just been beautiful when it happens. You know, just being able to get rid of 2 cards is just too good. So I expect people to net deck this combo because it's good, it's great, it's awesome. But no, I mean it's an okay combo. It's again a fun combo if you're able to pull it off. Otherwise, you know, it's a little bit more challenging. But yeah, it's a great theme for your deck. And then Tamari Conqueror Platoon, you know what it is. Even though I only run 1 Tamari, I usually search her out maybe turn 2, turn 3 with Sheikah's Decision so that I could make sure I hit that curve. But, you know, again, another put and play effect that's just super powerful. Look up your opponent's hand for a card and discard it. They could negate that by discarding 2 cards, so a lot of pressure. Turn 5's Hayashi, another Byakugan Ninja. Multiple reasons why running this. He has Mastery, so you can just Hydro Pump Mastery. You know how powerful Mastery can be. Tracking at the start of your opponent's turn. Also, if your opponent has no cards in their hand, you win 1 Battle Award. That is insane, and that is not hard to pull off in this kind of deck, where, again, hand manipulation, hand control, size, just effects going off all the time. So, and again, including Hayashi's maximum hand size is on 1. If you have all those Byakugan Ninjas with that effect, they're pretty much limited to like 2 cards, which is powerful. You're most likely going to maybe only have like at least 2 ninjas, maybe 3 at the most with that effect, but still that's limiting them from multiple actions and opportunities. So Hayashi, good card. Another control card that I like is Deidara, Control Demolition. Again, not a card that too many people play, but I do like to play cards that aren't really seen as much, either both in main deck or just in general. So Deidara, players cannot play more than 1 Jitsu card during the EOJ. I play this card a lot because in my meta, a lot of my friends like to play heavy Jitsus. They like to just go Jitsu, 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 and I'm just like, you know, can't keep up with it. I didn't want to run like a water deck or anything like that, or to that sort. So Deidara really puts a hold on like those late game effects when your opponent is trying to like win. It's also good too because again you're going to be discarding cards from your opponent's hand. You're most likely going to be getting rid of Jitsus so that they can't even perform multiple Jitsus in their turn. So Deidara is kind of like that safe kind of protection point so that in case they do have 2 Jitsus in their hand, they can only play 1, and I have the opportunity to pretty much negate it or chain to it if need be. But Deidara's there, great card overall, I think, and really helps with the control aspect. And then one of my favorite cards of the game, 1 turn 6, Pain Devapath, Target Promo. I tech this in a lot of my decks just because it's such a sure way to kind of be confident. Before Itachi turn 5 was legal, I've been using Pain for a while, just to ensure that I get my combos off. During your mission phase, look at a target player's hand, move 1 card from their hand to the bottom of their deck. In that case, if you target yourself, you draw 1 card. So if you're targeting your opponent, you see a Hydro Pump, put that back to the bottom. They don't get it back for a while. Or if you see a ninja, like another 6-drop, if you're ahead of them, you know, put them to the bottom. So it really, again, closes the theme of this whole deck in general. And you could even use it on yourself. So if you're looking for an answer, if you're looking for a Jitsu, if you're looking for another ninja, you could target yourself and then you could draw a card. So very powerful card. It's super good combat, and it just really ends your opponent's tempo and really puts a nail in the coffin just by picking cards out of their hand every single turn. So yeah, those are the ninjas. Let's go with the missions. Let's go with some early drop missions. I ran 2 student senseis. This probably one of the better Earth missions, I think, especially in this deck where it complements well with Choji. Give a battle award, Choji gets a coin, draw 2 cards. Helps with the early game Jitsus again. 1 Never Ending Love. Back when I had the Earth Control deck a couple years ago, this wasn't limited. It was freaking broken. 3 Never-Ending Loves. I don't think in any kind of format is healthy. It's just so freaking broken. You know, just being able to Dragon Flames early, Fangs Rush early, Fear by Genjutsu early, any type of like board wipe removal on turn 1 is just very impressive. So this card is okay at 1, but sometimes your opponent may get lucky and they could just like, you know, kill your ninja early. So it really depends. But you know, if I were me, I'd probably ban it. But it's just overall a good card. So you got to run it in this kind of meta, Earthwind, and then 1 Calm Strength just for room purposes. Yeah, it was just so good. You know, counters put and play effects. Very powerful card. 2 cost missions, 2 turn missions, 3 Sheikah's Decisions. Everybody knows this card. One of the best missions in the game. Search a ninja. If you have Shikamaru, search for anything. If you search for a female, draw a card. So it really helps hit your curve, whatever card that you want. 2 loss. Solid mission card, 2 for 2. Just exchange the cards that you have in your hand. It's very good. 1 training. Obviously, this card is broken in this deck. Your opponent's going to be losing cards. Play this, discard a random card from your hand, and then you draw 2. And then if this isn't Chakra, your Hinata gets +2 mental power. So that does help. It does help Hinata kind of mind transfer ninjas if she has to with that extra mental power. But for the most part, discarding. Last missions is a turn 3. 2 Delicate Operations. This card is busted, and especially in this deck. It's a permanent 4, so basically when your opponent plays a Jitsu, you negate it by removing a coin, and the Jitsu goes back to your opponent's hand. But that's fine, because if you're looking to play a Jitsu early on, like on turn 3, like a Mind Transfer, and they want to try to negate it, they're going to have to keep trying to pay chakra costs to basically negate this. So it's a very powerful card for control, and it's even more broken if you have this on like with Deidara, turn 5, where they can only play 1 Jitsu. You're most likely going to be able to get your Jitsu off because you have Delicate Operations on the field. Deidara's on the field. They try to play a Jitsu, you negate it with Delicate Ops, and you hit them with your own Jitsu. It's a very controlling card. Usually people kind of freak out when this is on the field because they're like, oh my god, I can't play Jitsus, I gotta get rid of this card. Not that you can't play Jitsus, but you know, you're gonna be losing your chakra. So there's a lot of thinking in this deck, because your opponent is gonna be reduced hand size. Their text effects may be negated again through like either Hinata, Suigetsu, stuff like that. Lack of Jitsus, so they're gonna have to find ways to kill your opponents. It's just a very controlling deck, and I like it a lot. And Delicate Operations really puts it over the top, just by pressuring your opponent. You know, even having this on as early as turn 3 is just super powerful. And yeah, it's even more of a problem if it's like turn 4, turn 5, where they have to pay higher costs for stuff like Hydro Pump or Genjutsu, something like that. So Fear Buys, they're gonna have to pay multiple costs just to get this Jitsu off. And it's a very good card in this deck. Jitsus. 2 Fangs Rush. As you guys can see, I have 10-10 as a 0 drop and Tamari as a 1 drop for those early game weapon kind of uses. Fangs Rush, very powerful card. Pick a card out of their hand, get rid of anything. You know, it's way too good. 2 Detonating Kunai. This card I like a lot. This one I played in my last deck too as well. It's a very techy card. You can pay 1 random or 2 random, target the user. The user gets either +2/+2 or +3 mental power during this turn. And then if I paid for the higher cost, which is 2 chakra, I get to discard a random card from my opponent's hand. So this I think is really good in the meta. There's a lot of decks out there with mental power ninjas. Sheikah Flex, Yoshino, decks that maybe want to fight through mental power, and being able to get that extra 3 mental power on a ninja, say like your own Shikamaru or own Hinata or something like that, just to help counter other mental decks, is clutch. You know, it's like surging on your EOJ, you know, that came out of nowhere. It's like, oh wow, well, you get another buff. So being able to do that, or if you want to rush early, you get that +2/+2, kill a ninja as early as turn 1, or it turn 0. You just charge a random card because it only costs 1. You could do that. You could just be a douche and get like +5 combat power or plus whatever and just kill a ninja. So yeah, very powerful card, and the ability to again discard a random card from your opponent's hand, super good. It's great for either early game, maybe getting lucky to pick off like their drop, or late game even when they only have a couple cards in their hand. 2 mind transfers. I think 3 was a little too much. Tuinos and Human Path are great for that mind expert usage. But being able to steal your opponent's ninjas, sacrificing it with either Human Path or Pain Debit Path, or reinforcing squads, all that stuff. Again, it's very powerful. I think my combo has always been very very strong, and mind transfer just to pick ninjas, way too good. And combo with detonating kunai. So if you're gonna have a +2 mental power, towards maybe like you're gonna be able to outpower somebody else's mental power to capture them. Byakugan, another broken card. For 1 Earth, target one of your opponent's battle words, turn the target face up, then randomly discard X cards from your opponent's hand, X is the number of symbols on that target, face up. I don't run too many multiple symbols, maybe like 7 or 8, but it can go off, if you pull like a Sheikah's Decision or something like that, get 2 cards, but you're most likely going to pick off 1 card, which is still plenty. Again, this theme is like all about discard, so it's very strong. Another good card that could be on the rogue list. Hydro Pump, what can I say? Mastery with Hayashi, and it's just a game-ending card. When you're discarding cards from your opponent's hand, they're going to have limited options to stop this, and it's just way too good. Yeah, I don't really have a sideboard deck or anything like that, or reinforcement. I mean, reinforcements are just typical mind transfer ninjas. Anything that you could steal and pay cost for, is very powerful. Reinforcements, probably stuff that could go good against a mirror match, which I'll show you in a bit, which is very powerful. Things like Hina. Hina's always good for that kind of deck. I can't really think of too many like solid ninjas specific for matchups, or not for specific for matchups, but specific for this deck, because you're already teching in a lot of tech. You're teching in like Shino already to kind of pick out cards. You already have Soigetsu for that effect. Against mission heavy decks like NVS, you could always counter with like New Orders or whatever, Secret Book, Soft Conversation, Hinas, all that stuff. So my sideboard would probably be decks that would counter the main meta decks. But yeah, I already have a lot of tech in the deck. But yeah, a lot of people are complaining about cards like this. Like, how do you beat these kind of decks that run multiple discard effects, good card deck, or discard negation? Easy going. I don't know if this is posted in the past, but this card is just so good. Cards in your hand cannot be affected by your opponent's effects, so they try to negate, or they try to drop a ninja that messes with your hand, can be affected. She's usually a ninja that I swap out between games if I feel like my person's playing a lot of discard themes, a lot of Tamaris, Kankuro Platoon, Amy. She's a good card to counter, so if people are looking for answers for these kind of decks, she would really hurt. But again, watch out for stuff like Soigetsu, because that stuff could also affect Ino as well. So you gotta protect her in a way. But yeah, she's very powerful for that reason, and solid drop. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That was my profile on Earth, Wind, Hand Control. It's my new playmat, by the way, guys. I think it's freaking awesome. Akatsuki cats, Akatsuki, you know what I'm saying? Represent. Very cool art. But yeah, rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. It's my first Naruto CCG upload in a while. I'm sure there's cards that could maybe cater to this deck a little bit better. You guys could tweak it, but definitely give it a try. I think it's very solid. It's competitive. It has a lot of meta cards, meta game breaking cards, combos. It could just really annoy your opponent too. So give this a try. Try to build it, proxy it, whatever. But I definitely recommend trying it out because it's a fun deck, and it really stops your opponent from doing like multiple combos. So if you really want to annoy somebody, annoy one of your best friends, I'd give it a try. So yeah, thanks again, guys, for watching. Subscribe for more Naruto CCG, DBZ, Fanzy, and other future card games that'll be announced. Thanks, YouTube. Peace out.